Hello A20 Nation, welcome back to another video. I'm Abe from A20 Studios, and today I'll be participating in hashtag TF21 of 21. This is a trend that was popular a few years ago. Some people still do it. It's where you count down the top however many figures for what year it is. So for example, today I'll be counting down my top 21 figures of 2021.
We are the A20 Nation, A20. I'm a YouTuber, not a hero. Hey, maybe consider subscribing. That way you'll know you'll be vibing. Maybe check out the merch.
So starting out with the bottom of the list, at number 21, we have Power of the Primes Punch Counterpunch. Now, this guy is not technically the Power of the Primes version. He came from the Galactic Odyssey Collection Dominus Criminal Pursuit set. And he does have a duplicate that I showed earlier off in the video, because I ended up having to return. Return the original, except I didn't have to actually return it due to COVID. And the reason for that was there's only one peg holding the vehicle mode together, and that completely broke off. That's kind of poor design, which is why he's so low on the list. But then he's a pretty fun figure. The fact that he has two robot modes is pretty cool. So the Counterpunch is Decepticon robot mode, was shown off earlier in the video, and then his vehicle mode is also very nice. So, on to number 20. At number 20, next on the list, we have Titan's Return, Twinferno, and Dabru. I think that's how you say his headmaster's name. This guy is two names because he's a headmaster from the time when Hasbro decided everything should be a headmaster. Why? We don't know. But it's cool. This guy's a two-headed dragon. It's fairly unique. I mean, I don't think there are any other two-headed dragons. I know there are other dragon transformers. He's cool. The reason he's so on the list is because of his legs. The dragon legs are really weird in their construction. They're like spring-loaded, but they're not. And so they don't really hold in place very well in dragon mode. Other than that, the guy's pretty cool. But the headmaster gimmick kind of dragged him down because it doesn't really suit him. On to number 19. Coming in at number 19, we have Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Blue Streak. This is a figure that I actually have done a review on, so if you want to see this guy more in depth, check it out. His vehicle mode is kind of the thing that drags him down, and also the fact that his legs are the proportions are very weird on his legs. He's alright. His vehicle mode is a sleek Cybertronian car, I guess. It's not that bad of a figure, he's just not up there with the best. So yeah, that's all for Blue Streak. On to number 18 on the list is Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Airwave. Airwave, nothing wrong with him. He's definitely what you would think of when you would think of a Decepticon, just generic goon type guy. He's a cycloptic airport. And he is just an unconventional, just kind of guy. You can pull him apart and armor up other Transformers. You have to pull him apart to transform him. He's got two different airport configurations. He works well with Micromasters. So that's all for him. He's just, he's in a spot on the list because there are better figures on this list. Also, these guns are orange plastic and are painted over, so I don't know how well you can see that, but that is all coming off, which is unfortunate. So yeah, now on to number 17. Number 17 on the list of 21 is Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Ironworks. It's pretty cool. Autobot. Doesn't do much. He comes apart into parts to armor up other Transformers. He has a crane mode that works well with Micromasters, and also a communications tower as a third mode. You do have to pull him apart to get him to all his modes, but that's just part of this guy's thing. He works well with Micromasters, and it's a pretty cool concept. This guy is where he is on this list, partially because of his weird legs. They just kind of flop, and there are just some interesting choices of design on this guy. Other than that, he's a very cool figure, and for deluxe price is very good. On to number 16. Number 16 on the list is Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Deluxe Class Waspinator. So, I this year watched Beast Wars, which is something I had not previously watched, and that was pretty big for, like, knowing some more stuff about Transformers in general. And Beast Wars is really good, probably one of my favorite Transformers series I've ever watched, and one of the characters that really made the series good is Waspinator, the comic relief of the show. This figure is really good, except for his Wasp mode doesn't really hold together that well, and unfortunately one of the wings fell off, and I currently do not know where it is. Other than that, this figure is pretty cool. The hip transformation is cool, but it takes a lot of force. I also don't like how the legs are just all over the robot mode, but he looks really cool other than that, and he's a great representation of a great character from a great show. On to number 15. Just like Waspinator, number 15 on the list, Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Airwave. Is from the show Beast Wars originally, and this is a pretty good take on her as a character. She is a pretty good figure. Bird mode's not that great, but I mean, it's fine. The character wasn't very good in the show Beast Wars, didn't have much to do. And in the Kingdom show, not much to do either. She's a good figure, articulation's good, wing backpack's pretty cool, and the only complaint is there's no really good place to, the only complaint about the figure itself is there's not really much of a good place to put the missile launchers in bird mode. So yeah, that's it for number 15, on to number 14. Just like the last two entries on this list, number 14, Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Core Class. Rat Trap is inspired by the Beast Wars character. Well, no, it is a recreation of the Beast Wars character. Very, very show-accurate figure. He's definitely the best character in the show, and also one of the better characters in the War for Cybertron trilogy. His rat mode's not great, and his shoulders are very floppy, but other than that, it's a very faithful representation of a great character, and he is definitely one I would recommend getting. That's all I have to say for him. On to number 13 on the list. Back to Carformers for number 13, we have Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Barricade from the Dominus Criminal Pursuit set, the box mate of Punch, a figure we took a look at earlier in this list. This figure, it's alright. His vehicle mode, very good. He's a cool figure, a representation of what a G1 Barricade from the movies would look like. His design was originally drawn by a member of the fandom, and was used by Hasbro to make this into a character. Very cool looking. Like I said, his vehicle mode's very good. On the complaint, they're plastic legs, and the top of the car mode is also clear plastic, so this guy might not last very long. That's number 13. And number 12. Number 12 on this list, Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Refractor, aka Reflector, aka Spectral Spyglass Viewfinder, aka Refractor, Refractor, and Refractor. To get this figure's full potential, you have to buy 3 of them. And at $20 each, they can get kind of expensive. So he's a good figure on his own. His individual alt mode is very negatively received. I think it's pretty cool. I think it makes sense for a bunch of boring space robots to transform into some speeders. The 3 of these guys can combine into a camera like they could in G1, and they're very faithful representations of their G1 parts. There's also a 3-pack of these guys repainted to look like the original G1 toy. These are look like the cartoon, and they're pretty good, and they're fun to have in this collection. On to number 11. The only Micromaster spot on this list, the Autobot Team Space Shuttle, Fusor and Blastmaster. I really hope Fusor's name is a reference to Beast Wars. Are a pretty good set. They're alright. The Space Shuttle mode is really cool. They work well with Ironworks, a figure that was previously shown in this video. They're very Ghibli in robot mode. Their Space Shuttle is definitely pretty cool. The wings don't line up in Space Shuttle mode very well. But here's Fusor in robot mode. Very nice looking figure. And for Blastmaster, he definitely gets hit hardest with having to deal with most of the pieces of the shuttle mode. Just finish his transformation here. Doing this on camera. There's Blastmaster. They're both 2 alright figures, probably some of the best Micromasters. They were from the Earthrise line, and they work well with the weaponizers. Now, on to number 11. I misspoke in that last clip. This is number 10, not number 11. The Team Space Shuttle was number 11. So, counting down the top 10 best figures I got in 2021 is Transformers Earthrise Grapple. This guy is very, very underused in media, but always seems to show up in toy lines. This guy is a very, very good figure. His gun is probably my favorite gun in my collection. He's an all-around very cool figure. His vehicle mode is very, very out of scale with anything, but he just looks nice. He is all around a really good figure, and he goes for pretty cheap on Amazon compared to his original sale price. He's come down about $10, making him $20 instead of $30. So I would recommend getting this guy. He's very, like I said, he's very, very good. Vehicle mode is great. And yeah, on to number 9. Continuing the top 10 figures I got in 2021, Transformers Earthrise Double Dealer. This guy has been very negatively received by a lot of fans, but he's pretty good. I mean, considering I got him for $20 off his original sale price, that's even better. I got him for $30. His original price was, I think, $50, because he's a leader class. It's a very big figure. He's a triple changer. He was from the late G1 where they were just trying out anything they could. And his alt modes are a missile truck and a bird. He is a mercenary in the Transformers War for Cybertron show. He shows up in Earthrise and then gets killed by the Quintessons. He's a good figure here. I would highly recommend getting him if you can get him for cheap enough. Yeah, on to number 8. Continuing with number 8 on the top 21 figures of 2021. Transformers Siege Leader Class Ultra Magnus, a figure I was very, very excited to get, and he did not disappoint. So it's a very nice figure. Go watch my full review on him if you want to see him more in depth, but his cab robot mode is very nice, his truck mode is very nice, and his big super mode is very, very nice. He did almost nothing in the War for Cybertron trilogy, getting killed off in the 4th or 5th episode, not doing much besides being really dumb and just walking behind enemy lines and letting himself get captured because he thought Megatron would be reasonable. Megatron would be reasonable. Well, anyway, the figure is very good, and the War for Cybertron show that depicted him was not. On to number 7. Number 7 on the list of 20 of the best figures of 2021 that I got. Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Voyager class Rhinox. He's one of the best characters in Beast Wars, the 90s cartoon show, and also one of the best figures in the War for Cybertron trilogy show. He had a pretty good development with Wheeljack and Ratchet helping to fix the arc, and he was all around just a really good character and one of the best characters. He does become Tankor in Beast Machines, which is unfortunate that we don't get to see more of him in Beast Machines. I have not watched Beast Machines yet because I just didn't want to. I probably will eventually. Yeah, so he has a very good figure. Only problem with him, the chain guns are pretty small on the soldier, on the shoulders are very freely moving. Yeah, very good figure. Now on to number 6. Almost at the top 5 on this list of the top 21 figures of 2021 that I got. Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Mirage. Earth Mode Mirage came in a 2-pack with Grimlock, the Maximal Grimlock anyway. This guy is a really, really good figure. The biggest problem I have with him is, for whatever reason, Hasbro decided they weren't going to put a port on top of his shoulder, which is where this weapon is supposed to mount. It's supposed to have a missile launcher mounted to his shoulder, but this figure does not do that. I'll probably end up buying the upgrade kit in order to allow it to do that. This figure is really good. The legs don't peg in all that well, but that's alright. The Formula 1 car mode is very good, and from what I've heard, he's a vast improvement over the Siege figure, which I do not have. He was an alright figure in the he was an alright character in the War for Cybertron show. Didn't really do anything. I think they were gonna try and go for like a character arc where he wasn't sure why he was on the Autobots, and then figured out why he was sent on the mission, but that kind of failed. He was a pretty good. Well, he was basically a plot device convenience. Yeah, that's Mirage. Good figure. And now, kicking off the number 5. Kicking off the top 5 figures that I got in 2021, Transformers War for Cybertron Siege 6-gun. He did not appear in the War for Cybertron trilogy show, but here is a very, very good figure. He's the best of the weaponizers that I own. He splits up into a bunch of different weapons, being the combination of originally Fortress Maximus's 6 guns, which is where his name comes from. His jet mode's alright, nothing special. But yeah, he's very cool looking in robot mode. He really goes well with the Siege play pattern. And yeah, it's not much else to say about him. He's a good figure and deserves the number 5 spot on the 21 best figures that I got in 2021. Now on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, the only movie figure on this list, and one of only 3 movie figures in my collection, Transformers Studio Series Dino, aka Movie Mirage. This guy is a very good figure. Unfortunate that he feels really fragile due to all the clear plastic used in his construction. He's a unique figure, one of the only ones I was interested in the Studio Series line. Vehicle mode is great, the backdrop is alright, and yeah, that's Dino or Mirage. Right now I haven't really done this figure justice. I'll probably end up doing a review for him in the future. Yeah, number 4 on the list, Transformers Studio Series Mirage, aka Dino. On to number 3 of the top 21 figures that I got in 2021. Kicking off these top 3 and coming in with the bronze medal, Transformers Studio Series 86 Jazz. It's a little weird that they put him in the Studio Series line even though he's G1, and the Studio Series line is supposed to be for movie figures, and that was a huge controversy this year. Jazz is and will always be one of my favorite characters in Transformers, and this figure absolutely does him really well. His alt mode is really nice, and his only big problem I have with him is most of his backpack is clear plastic, and that is a bunch of vital stuff for the vehicle mode. He's just all around a very nice figure, and I recommend this guy a lot. He's a great figure of a great character, and is definitely a good, worth it purchase. Now, on to number 2. A little bit small for his price point, but absolutely making up for it in the end. Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Optimus Primal comes in to take the silver medal. This guy is such a good figure. His gorilla mode is awesome. His transformation is very simple. He was portrayed in the cartoon, alright, but in the original Beast Wars show was an awesome figure, voiced very well by Gary Chalk. He's just a really good figure, really faithful to the original design for him. His head sculpt is just really amazing. He's just all around a really great figure, and I highly recommend him. He is probably my second favorite figure in my collection overall, with the number 1 spot on this list being the first. Yeah, that's Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Optimus Primal. And now, on to number 1 of the best figures that I got in 2021. And now for the best figure that I got in 2021. Coming in to take the gold medal, Mirage's packmate in the Battle Across Time 2-pack, Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Grimlock. He is such a good figure, a repaint of the Dinobot mold, and the reason Dinobot didn't make it on this list. He's just such a good figure. His paint is just amazing. He's super cool looking. He's the only Transformer I think I have with green eyes. I don't know if you can see that, how well that's showing up on camera. But his dinosaur mode also has those green eyes. He has some of my favorite weapons of any Transformer, which are, of course, Dinobot's weapons. He's just a unique figure and just really good. And with Dinobot being one of the best molds of Transformers figures ever, and this guy just coming in and making it just the mold so much better. Yeah, he is just amazing. And there's nothing wrong with Dinobot. In fact, he's an amazing figure as well, but this guy just beats him. He's my favorite figure in my collection at the moment, and probably will be for some time. He's just such a good figure, and I highly recommend getting the Battle Across Time 2-pack just for this guy alone. Mirage is great too, as he did appear on this list, but Grimlock is just so good. So yeah, that was the top 21 figures of 2021 that I got. Hashtag TF21 of 21. And yeah, thank you for all the growth this year in 2021. And I will see you back in 2022, unless this video comes out in 2022. Because right now it's New Year's Eve and around 4 o'clock, so I have to edit this and get it out in a few hours, which I probably will manage to do. So yeah, I'll see you next year. And yeah, this has been Abe from A20 Studios, signing off.